Beterbiev versus Smith recap. Told y'all. Let's ride for a minute, man. Get a couple people up in here so we can talk about that knockout and potential Beterbiev versus Bivol undisputed light heavyweight championship matchup. Y'all better recognize, man. That's why y'all really got to follow your boy. Don't just window shop. Really check out the content. Your boy be calling these fights. Go back and check out the previous video. I told y'all, man. I called it between 5 and 7. He wound up getting them up out of there in 2. I knew the fight wasn't gonna go the distance, man. Beterbiev too much power. As I said, as I stated, as I tried to tell y'all, power in both hands. Y'all hear the legend in the background, and y'all see the legend in front of you. Salute, subscribe, follow your boy, man. Boy, we'll start doing more lives, man. You know what I mean? It's like YouTube is trying to get me to do more lives. You know what I'm saying? Salute to everybody, man, to support the channel, who does not hate on the channel. Everybody different, man. Got a lot of dudes out here putting out content, biting off of each other. Nah, man, we are original. We keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? I ain't getting no help from no other channels. You know what I'm saying? We been getting it from the mud. And somebody was like, yo, you been around since 2017? No. If y'all know about Google, everybody got to, not everybody, but in order to comment on videos and all that kind of stuff, you got to have a Google account. So I had the Google account since 2017. I had an active YouTube channel for maybe over a year now. You know what I mean? So the channel has been live and active for a little over a year now. We still new to the game, man. Still growing, still flourishing. We still doing our thing, we grinding. But we got a lot of great content, man. Your boy is nice with the shits. Even though I don't take no life. Go back, check out the previous video, check out the archives, man. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the truth. And check out the show, man. Your boy got some fire shorts, man. What everybody's right now, the Roy Jones short I just did. Roy Jones was a problem, man. Roy Jones was crushing dude. I go see the title. Roy Jones was crushing dude. Roy, up to the legend, man. Boy, shout out to Bernard Hopkins, man, holding it down. All the legends, man. Layla Ali, you know what I mean? Everybody, man, that got inducted. Everybody. Andre SOG Ward. Everybody, man. James Toney. Everybody got inducted, man. Everybody deserves it. Boxing is a dangerous game. Time's a dirty game. But that is the best sport on the planet. You get to step into the ring, mano a mano, and take your frustrations out. Everything your opponent talked about. Look at Tank Davis. Look at Rolly Romero. All that stuff Rolly was talking, okay. Tank did exactly what he was supposed to do. He went in there, he got rid of Rolly in 6. Rolly tried to come in, bop. Rolly turned into Clark Kent, almost flew out the ring. You know what I mean? Love the boxing game. Love the boxing game. Love it. But you know what? Dimitri Bivol's a problem. He's a problem. And him and Beterbiev will be a fantastic fight. With everything that B-Ball does, we've seen his jab. Again, with the B-Ball Canelo fight, I called it again. You know what I'm saying? Go back and check out the video. See, you ain't got to just listen to what I say. Go back and check out the videos, whatever the topic is, whatever the fight is. You type it in search, you pull it up, you click it, you watch it, and you tell me if I'm telling the truth. I don't lie, man. The world has too many liars. The world has too many people who are, like my great aunt used to say, mischievous. You know what I mean? Mischievous or whatever. You know what I mean? I did my dirt, but at the same time, certain principles you got to live by in life. You know what I mean? Certain principles. The streets always respect principles. End of the day. And when you live by a certain code of principles, man, you know what I mean? If it's certain things that you just won't do, the streets will always respect that. That's what people don't realize, man. Shout out to Philly. Philly is on fire right now. That's my city. I ain't there right now, but I still hold the city down. You dig what I'm saying? Every day, all day. And it breaks my heart, man, to see every time that I click onto a news video, and you always seeing somebody done got laid down, somebody done got hit up. You know what I mean? Rest in peace to the firefighter, man, who just lost his life when a building collapsed in Fairhill. You dig what I'm saying? I mean, it's sad, man, all the stuff that's going down in the city. You know what I mean? It just goes to tell you, like, the state that we are in. I mean, it's crazy, man. It's crazy out here. You heard me? What Nas just said? Only the realest, y'all. Subscribe. Notifications. The realest in the game, man, that y'all don't know about. Now that y'all know about your boy, let somebody know, man. You dig what I'm saying? Let somebody know. Share the truth. Bury the lies. Matter of fact, don't even tell the lies, but you share the truth. Just an accident murder. How real is that? A lot of these people out here, man, while they're out in the streets, really don't know what they're getting into, man. People get high, you know what I mean? Get together. So you know what? Let's go do this, that, and the third. And really don't think about the shit that they going out there doing. You know what I'm saying? Because then when they get booked and all that, they be ready to go out there and tell on people. You an accident murderer. It's my joint right here. Man, happy belated Father's Day, man, to all the kings out there, the ones out there, man, doing their thing. Shout out to my old head, man, doing this thing, man. Shout out to the boy Sean G. Just been checking out his channel, man. You know what I'm saying? Cool old head, man. He be speaking the truth. You know what I mean? Go out there and check him out. Like, comment, and subscribe. Support the old head. You dig what I'm saying? I rocks with him. He's a cool brother. You dig what I'm saying? He don't know your boy yet, but he ain't got to know me to show love. That's the beautiful thing about being real. You ain't got to know what I do. You ain't got to know what I say. Just know what I do and know what I say is always real. You dig what I'm saying? Real recognize real. Salute and shout out to the brother, man. Salute and shout out to all the kings and all the queens, because you got a lot of mothers out here, man, who playing the mother role and playing the father role. It's a duality. They raising their kids, you know what I'm saying, from the mindset of a queen and of a king. You dig what I'm saying? Salute to the queens also. Salute to the kings, man, raising their kings, their princes, and their princesses, you know what I mean, doing the best they can. They may be struggling, maybe living check to check, may not be able to have everything they want once they open up their refrigerator, but they doing the best to put a plate and a roof over their kids' heads. You know what I mean? Salute to those parents, man. Salute to them because I respect them. I ain't grew up easy. A lot of people may be watching this, man. Inshallah, they ain't grow up easy. But you know what? How you grow up does not determine your destiny. I mean, it doesn't. It adds to it. It gives it character. It gives it a base. It gives it some sort of identity. But your overall decisions and perspective in life, that's what outlines and shapes your destiny and puts you on the path to who you are supposed to be. So for everybody, man, that's grinding and struggling and going through it, but still chooses to do the right thing and struggle and don't let their situation, you know what I mean, eat away at their character, who they truly are, I salute y'all, man. Keep shining. No matter how dark it get, keep shining. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all. But you know what? There's not even nobody in here yet, and we about to get it rocking. I told y'all, man, Artur Beterbiev is a problem. But you know what, man? I also said, man, salute to Joe Smith. To Joe Smith, blue collar, hard worker, you know what I mean? But at the same time, as they say, man, it's levels. And Beterbiev is just on a different level, man. I know y'all might hear the bikes in the background. It is what it is. You dig what I'm saying? Salute, apologies. But Beterbiev is a problem, man. Power in both hands. I told y'all, deceptively good, you know what I mean, as far as footwork and as far as defense. He does a lot of subtle things, you know what I mean, that goes over people's heads that people really don't look at it. But some of your analysts, they do see what he does. Because I sure enough see these certain things and I be looking at fighters, man. And I be calling it every time. But your boy don't be getting no love, you know what I'm saying? But you know what, though? I can't say that because a lot of people, low key, and some of y'all favorite channels be watching. They be watching. They watch the videos, you know what I mean? And they see what your boy Sports be talking about. They see what your boy Sports be doing. You know what I mean? Some of them even try to take my style. You know what I mean? Some of them try to take my style. You go back and watch my videos, my format. I may have my picture down here. I have the background thumbnail. Then I have pictures up, you know what I'm saying, on corners. Or I might have stickers up on my corners. You see how some of your channels, some of your favorite channels, start doing that. We all think they got that from. They got that from me. And they ain't show your boy no love. Because guess what? Why? I'll be taking their subscribers. So they want to keep your boy in the dark. They want to keep your boy in the shadows. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't want to put this guy out here. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a threat. But guess what? We kept grinding. Channel kept grinding. I kept grinding. Despite working, having a job, having all types of craziness going on in life, you know what I mean? Your boy is still holding it down. Your boy is still putting out content. Your boy is still representing for himself and for y'all, for the people. You know what I'm saying? I love Talk Nation, and I appreciate Talk Nation. I got some real subscribers out there, man, who support the channel, and they listen. They listen, and they are watching, and they see the real, and they see the truth. For those people, I appreciate y'all. It don't matter if it's 1%, 2%, 3%, 30%. Don't matter. When you show that love and you reciprocate that love, I appreciate it a millionfold. That's why every comment, you know what I mean, I do my best, you know what I mean, to respond, thumb up, heart, whatever. I don't just look at no comment and just, no. I read what you guys are talking about. I'm listening to what you guys are saying. And if it warrants my feedback, I always feedback, you know what I mean? Because sometimes you just got to let people have their opinion. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. I will never, you know what I mean, unless you get disrespectful and all that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? I'll always let you guys have your say, and I'll always hear your opinion because you're entitled to it. If you watch my show, if you watch my channel, that's love, that's respect. Even if you don't come back, if you watch it just one time and then you leave a comment, I show love and I give feedback because that's what you're supposed to do. Always got to show love, man. You always got to show love. You always got to show respect because you ain't nothing without it. You know what I'm saying? A man is nothing without character. But Beterbiev is a problem, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I told y'all. And Joe Smith going into that fight, you know what I mean? From the highlights and everything that I saw, man, like Joe Smith, he did not, if you go back and watch my video, I told y'all, the jab and Joe Smith going to the body was going to be key. If he did not do that, if he failed to do at least those two things, he was going to lose. Because Beterbiev's power and his IQ is on another level. He already has power in both hands, but he's deceptively talented with his feet and for his head movement. You know what I mean? You seen him when Joe Smith was coming in, Beterbiev, he was always, you know what I'm saying, getting on the outside, resetting and turning to the outside. And once Joe Smith tried to reset, that's when Beterbiev, you know what I'm saying, timed him and was catching him. And once he started landing the uppercut, y'all saw the last series, man, caught him with a double uppercut. You know what I mean? Woke him up and then put him to sleep. You know what I mean? Fight was over. You know what I mean? I told y'all, man, like Beterbiev is a problem. But Bivol has a better jab and he uses his jab. You see what he did to Canelo. And Bivol also has a nice straight right hand to the body. Bivol's nice, man. Bivol's nice. You know what I mean? Him and Beterbiev will be a fantastic fight, and that will not be an easy fight for both guys. And I can honestly say, if these two guys fight 50-50, as great as Beterbiev is, I honestly believe that Bivol can beat him. I believe Bivol can beat him. And Bivol has a chin, and his chin will be tested when he fights Beterbiev. As a matter of fact, that will be the defining factor. If Beterbiev can touch Dimitri Bivol, catch him nice on the chin, and if Bivol is able to take that shot, it's over. You know what I mean? It's over because Beterbiev is so dynamic. He's so powerful. Nobody, as of yet, has been able to take his power. They said the same thing about Canelo. If Canelo doesn't respect your power, he's going to walk you down. You know what I mean? And if he doesn't respect your power as far as what you can do, the fight is over. Beterbiev is the same way. If you can't hurt Beterbiev, if you can't take his power, the fight is already over. And Bivol is a tough competitor, and he's very skillful. Also, I told y'all, deceptively good footwork. His range, he uses his range beautifully. You know what I mean? Lined up and measured by his jab. I'm telling y'all, Bivol has the chance against Beterbiev. Has the best chance at light heavyweight. Just talking about Beterbiev moving up. Why? It ain't nobody up there for you to fight. You are supposed to reign in your division. Once he becomes undisputed, he needs to stay there. Until, I guess, better opposition comes up, you know what I mean? At a higher weight class, Bivol needs to stay there. Stay and remain undisputed, because a lot of people be forgetting, man, you know what I mean? Like, look at the guys up and coming. You look at the welterweight division, man, you know what I mean? Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence. These guys are the kings of the welterweight division. And you got to throw Jerron Ennis in there. Boots is a problem, and he on their heels. So that's why Errol Spence and Terrence Bud Crawford, these guys have to fight. You hear speculation of the fight is possibly done. You hear speculation also that a possible venue has already been picked out and set. You know what I mean? That fight needs to happen. Why? Because of the up-and-coming guys, they need their time to shine. Because you have guys like, Virgil Ortiz, his situation, we had to back out of his last fight because of whatever he was going through. You still have Jerron Ennis out there, you know what I mean? Stanionis, you know what I mean? Shout out to Speedy Rashidi Ellis, you know what I mean? The welterweight division, man, has some talent. That's number one. And the up and coming guys, just like the lightweight division is on fire. You got, you know what I mean? You got fire at 130 and 135. And you got some guys moving up to 140, you know what I mean? Like Teofimo Lopez, he will try his way at 140, but you got some beasts up there, man. Regis Prograis, so on. You hear Adrian Broner, he's coming back, he's fighting at 140. But AB, you know what I mean? AB with the talent that's at 140, and the way that AB approaches fights these days, you have to think like, is he coming back for a bag, or is he really coming back to box? Is he really coming back to win? He said, I will be world champion again. Is he really trying to be world champion? I don't know. He really hasn't displayed or showed that, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? AB is the prime example of having skill, but allowing your outside life to diminish your talent inside the ring. From the cases to situations, you know what I mean? Like, all that has kind of ate away and diminished his career. And that's sad, man, because AB is talented, man. You know what I mean? If he let his hands go like he did once upon a time, like, AB would have been a problem. But there again, just goes to show you, one fight can change your destiny. It can change your career. When he fought Maidana, and Maidana broke him up, AB ain't been the same. He's been shy ever since that fight. You know what I mean? He did not want to get caught and touched by anybody with power. Manny Pacquiao also put hands on him. Manny Pacquiao also hurt him. When Manny Pacquiao caught him with that straight left hand, if the ropes was not there, AB would have either been in the front row or he'd have been on the canvas. Because there you go again. Have to give AB his props. He always comes to the fight in shape. Because if he did not have legs, when he fought Manny Pacquiao, I mean, he would have been, as soon as Manny caught him, he would have dropped. But AB always comes in shape. That I will give him. Doesn't let his hands go, but physically, he always comes in shape. But he needs to put the physical and the mental back together. Because right now it's out of sync. He comes into the fight physically ready, but he doesn't come into the fight mentally ready. You know what I mean? If he comes into the fight physically and mentally ready and put them together and let his hands go, AB will be special. He will be special. He does have pop. Seeing when he dropped Sean Porter. And we all know how tough Sean Porter is. AB will be nice, man. He has pop. He has speed. If he let his hands go, AB will be a problem, man. AB will be a problem. But he doesn't let his hands go. You know what I mean? That's his biggest problem. And mentally, he's a little bit unstable. But life will do that to you. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's so imperative out here, man, that you keep your mind together. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to everybody that's getting laid down in the streets, where you got mass shootings going on all over the country. You know what I mean? It just goes to tell you, man, you got a lot of broken people out here, man. That's why you have to respect fighters, man. Because the tenacity, the toughness, the will to fight, it goes beyond the ring. Those are characteristics that you have to have and you need in life. You can't get through life, especially hard times, without them. Because when you start to go through things in life and you don't have character, you don't have strong will, you could be in trouble, man. Because life is hard. You have to be tough. And you have to know how to be tough. And when the times comes for it, you know what I mean? To be soft, to be gentle. You can't always walk around with a chip on your shoulder. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter how people perceive you, how people want other people to perceive you. You within yourself have to know who you are. You within yourself have to know what you're about. And that's one thing that burns a hater up. when they try to get the whole world to look at you like you're crazy, like you're a problem. But then the people who really understand the truth, they look at you like, man, this shit just don't add up. And I mean, what you say and what y'all try to make it seem like this person, he or she is, it just don't add up. That's the beautiful thing about being real. Because see, a weak mind will always be constitute to the words of the devil. That's who the devil preys on. He preys on a weak mind. That's why he has to attack you in so many different directions and use so many dynamics to try to break you down. Because see, a weak mind is easily controlled. A strong mind, strong will. People hate those type of people because you can't be controlled. You can't just tell me anything and I'm gonna believe that shit. I'm sorry. I don't buy it. I ain't with that. And somebody who always talking about people, be wary of those people, y'all. Be wary of those people. Because those type of people will get you hurt. Those type of people can get you killed. Be wary of people who always running their mouth. You know what I mean? Stay away from them people. You dig what I'm saying? People who run their mouth, especially for no reason. It's one thing when you got beef with somebody because they actually did something to you. If somebody has not done nothing to you and they always running their mouth or they trying to tear you down or they talking behind your back, trying to cause complications in your life, be wary of those people. Because see, when karma comes for those people, and it will come, you don't want to be nowhere around when that happens. I'm telling you, man. You know what I mean? I see them and surrounded by them every day. And I'm telling y'all, the best way to live nowadays is not only quiet and peaceful, but to yourself. It ain't nothing wrong with being the captain of your own ship. Sometimes you the captain and you the first mate. You know what I mean? You may have to man everything by yourself. It ain't gonna be easy, but you have to do it. Because right now, in these days and times, it's crazy out here. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, folks is at an all-time low when it comes to character, looking out for your brother, looking out for your sister. We used to always talk about racism this, racism that, you know what I'm saying? This person trying to hold us down. But now as African Americans, man, we are holding ourselves down. We are tearing down our own brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? It makes no sense when you hear about children getting killed. You know what I'm saying? Teenagers getting knocked off left and right for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like back in the day, man, like coming up, like the old heads used to tell us, like, before you pick up a gun, before you pick up anything, a bat, brick, a freaking paperweight, you have to know how to use your hands. That's your first line of defense. And that is where I became a fan, not only of fighting, whether it be boxing or martial arts, because I did both, but the fight game, just period. It's a certain honor in that. You know what I mean? Just with your bare hands, you know what I'm saying? You defend yourself, you know what I mean? You defend your character, mano a mano. It's something, you know what I'm saying? Like they say, like gentlemen, you know what I mean? Like they used to walk up and then they smack you with the glove. You dig what I'm saying? To let you know it's on. They ain't walk up and just pop you with it, you know what I'm saying? No, you know what I mean? That's how, and that's where it needs to get back to. Because at least you can bounce back, hopefully, from a good fight. It may take you a week, couple of weeks, or whatever to heal up, depending upon how bad you get whooped. You know what I mean? But guess what? You'll live to fight another day. Shout out to Pops and Friday. You know what I'm saying? You win some, you lose some, but you live. You live to fight another day. That is what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, man, like people, I mean, dudes, man, people just scared, bro. They scared. You know what I mean? I mean, it's so sad that it's funny. You know what I mean? Because you think that you real because you are able to pick up a gun and just lay somebody out. That's easy. That's easy. Before I went to the military, you should be out there a little bit. You know what I mean? It's easy. You know what I mean? You have to be careful before you adopt that mentality. You know what I mean? fight first, and if somebody bring or if they elevate the situation, then you have to defend yourself the best way that you can. You know what I mean? You have to preserve your life for yourself, for your family, for your future family, whatever. But the first thing that you should do is always put your hands up. That's why you respect the fight game. That's why you respect everybody that's stepping into the ring. That is why. I tell you guys all the time, man, like, look, if you step into that ring and you put your life on the line, you give these fighters respect. It ain't nothing wrong with liking this fighter opposed to this fighter. That's boxing. You're always going to have your favorite fighter. But you always respect the opposition because they trained and they condition themselves just like the fighter who you like or the fighter who you love. They can lose their life and get hurt, and the rest of their life or career may never be the same. Just like the fighter you like, just like the fighter you love. So you always give respect and salutations to the opponent. Like once upon a time, man, coming up, people used to have that mentality like, you heard what he just said, real one's a mistake, man. Shout out to Nick. You dig what I'm saying? Like, even though somebody's your enemy, you still show them respect. Because once upon a time, even though somebody is my enemy, the way that word is perceived now is like, if somebody is your enemy, they got to be neutralized. But see, for real, the real definition, of an enemy is just simply somebody that ain't your friend. You know what I mean? And like coming up, man, like Mom Deuce used to always say, you ain't got no friends, all you have is associates. Think about that. You ain't got no friends, all you have is associates, people who you associate yourself with. It takes a lot to say, you know what, man, like somebody is my friend. Somebody is my friend. Because see how I grew up, if you quote unquote call somebody your friend, that means that you'll fight for them. And I've been there. You know what I'm saying? Talk about neighborhood brawl. You know what I mean? One side of the block against the other side of the block. Regular fights, you know what I mean? Different type of scenarios, man. You know what I mean? And I ain't never lost. Not to say that I ever will, but I haven't yet. And I've been through some scuffles. You dig what I'm saying? Again, let me reiterate, I love the fight game. And shout out to my uncles. Because my uncles coming up, they played them games, cuz, you know what I'm saying? Like, they made sure that we wasn't soft. One of the first things and principles that we learn, especially I learned as a man, is the handshake. Like when I was young and used to come up, go to my grandmother's house, or my uncles used to come through, family barbecues or whatever. My bad. Like you see your uncle and you walk up to him and you shake their hand. You know what I mean? And like my uncles, man, are big dudes. You know what I'm saying? All of them prior military except for like one. You know what I'm saying? Like back in the day, my grandfather and my uncles used to fight gang members. You know what I'm saying? Used to fight gang members when they used to like try to approach my mom, my aunts, and all that. You know what I mean? My uncles and my grandfather wasn't having that, cuz, you know what I'm saying? They go right out there on the block and be getting it in with gang members. That's my bloodline. That's where I come from. You know what I'm saying? So it's a different type of mindset. It's a different type of spiritual mindset and well-being when you're talking about not only the fight game, but just who you are as a man. Getting back to the handshake, they used to squeeze my hand so hard that it almost brought me down and broke me down to my knees. But see, they wasn't crushing my hand to show dominance. Of course, they grown men. You know what I'm saying? Of course, they're bigger, they're stronger than me naturally. But see, they were trying to teach me the lesson of when you shake a man's hand, you shake it. You know what I'm saying? You show that strength. You know what I mean? My uncle used to always say, and the principle and the mindset behind that is, because you shake that man's hand like that to let him know if it ever come down to it, you fighting somebody strong. You ain't fighting nobody weak. It ain't gonna be easy. That's the mindset behind it. It's more than just a handshake, because a handshake can be determined in different ways. As an as an agreement, as a show of dominance, as a show of strength, you know what I mean? As a sign of respect, you know what I mean? In different ways. But that's the lesson behind that when they was trying to teach us that and teach me that coming up. So for the kings out there, man, and nowadays, man, like people don't even shake hands like that, you know what I mean? Because you got all types of, you know what I'm saying? You got the Rona running around, you know what I'm saying? You got GF13 and monkey pox and all this other kind of shit running around, you know what I mean? Like people trying to keep their distance, you know what I mean? So like people genuinely don't even shake hands no more, because you think like, you know, I don't know where your hands been, you know what I mean? Could have just been scratching your ass or something, digging up your nose or whatever, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? I don't know about that, you know what I'm saying? You got to keep Purell, and I keep a bottle full of, you know what I'm saying, alcohol on me. You dig what I'm saying? To make sure that you always keep your hands, you know what I'm saying, clean. But that's the world we live in. You have to adapt. You have to adapt to survive. You dig what I'm saying? But for those settings where you do and you can shake somebody's hand genuinely, you always shake their hand, man, you know what I'm saying, with strength. You'll never do that weak, like you shaking a female hand. No, you shake a man's hand, you shake a man's hand, you make sure that you hear that snap. You know what I mean? And they may not say it, because as a man, you don't want to be like, damn, like, you motherfucker punching my hand. No. But see, mentally, they know, like, damn, boy, this motherfucker's strong. You dig what I'm saying? And that's what you want. You dig what I'm saying? So as a man, as a king, as a prince, when you shake somebody's hand, man, you shake their hand like a man. But back to boxing, man, this beautiful game. You know what I'm saying? The duality of boxing, man, it mirrors the principles and just what we go through in life so much, but people don't look at it and people don't talk about it enough. But guess what? That's what I'm here for. Real talk, live sports. Emphasis on real talk. You dig what I'm saying? You always got to keep it real, because people always going to talk. You always got to keep it live, even if you talk about sports. It's more than just words, baby. You got to look at the meaning. You have to look at the setting, the definition, the definitive factors of the words. You did what I'm saying, to understand the principle of mind and well-being that I'm trying to emphasize and navigate and bring to y'all. You dig what I'm saying? Love y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. But the fight game is the best game. You can't play boxing. You can't. You'll lose every time. But Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, these fights have to happen. Devin Haney, Kambosos. I really don't want to see that rematch personally, but Kambosos, not only contractually, but as far as him being the man, as I said, and I talked about this before, I'd rather see him fight, this is Devin Haney, Lomachenko, or Tank Davis. Those are the fights that I'd rather see Devin Haney fight. Because Kambosos didn't show anything, he didn't show me anything in that first fight that you want to see in a rematch. It just wasn't that type of fight. So shout out to Lou DiBella, you know what I mean, and company for them, you know what I mean, putting that deal and contract together the way they did to give him a second shot. But if Devin Haney beats Kambosos again, yo, that's his career. He will never be the same. If he gets beat back to back, you lost all your belts in the first fight. In the second fight, if you cannot get redemption and then you lose in same fashion, or even worse, because I believe he can get knocked out in the second fight. Because Devin Haney, he knows what you can, he knows what you can do. He knows your power. You know what I mean? And he didn't even touch Devin Haney like that. You know what I mean? Like the little bit of, you know what I mean, action that Devin Haney sustained, he said that it was due to a headbutt or elbow or something like that, but not a physical punch. But I understand that George Kambosos may have got some shots in, but it wasn't nothing principle. Devin Haney took a lot of his weapons away, you know what I mean? When he caught Teofimo Lopez with, you know what I mean? Like, he wasn't able to do none of that with Devin Haney. I told y'all, man, Devin Haney, there again, I called Devin Haney winning that fight. Even though I gave respect to Kambosos, quick feet, fast hands, that comes from, and rest in peace, man, to Amy Winehouse in the background. Rest in peace, Queen. But the speed that Kambosos has, he got that from sparring Manny Pacquiao over 200 rounds. You know what I mean? Getting Manny Pacquiao ready for championship fights. So I gave Kambosos his props, but at the same time, he's not a better boxer than Devin Haney. He's not a better boxer. If Kambosos was just as good, not better, but just as good of a boxer that Devin Haney was, with having those quick hands and those quick feet and being able to utilize his movement, then George Kambosos, he would have made that a hell of a fight. A hell of a fight. That fight would have went a totally different way. And I told y'all, Kambosos was talking about he's in his prime and all this kind of stuff. And I told y'all, that shit ain't make no sense. How in just one fight, now all of a sudden you're in your prime? It just ain't adding up. So fighting Devin Haney in a rematch, you're not going to become the boxer you need to become to beat Devin Haney in one fight removed. You know what I mean? You're not going to do it. Because if you did not add certain tools in your first camp leading up to that first fight, what more do you think that you can do in a second camp leading up to a second fight? Because it's one thing to do what you do in camp. You look good for media workouts and doing things, showing things that you and your coach worked out and did in the gym. But once you get into the ring in a physical fight with your opponent, all that crap goes out the window unless it's already built into you. You can work on certain things, but especially being a boxer, you already have to have the skills and know how to box. Whatever you work on is whatever you work on. You seen that with Tank for Rolly. You know what I mean? Like, they knew that Rolly was going to pressure Tank. So Tank had to utilize his boxing skills. Be patient. When Rolly tried to come in, you slip, you counter, and you move out the way, and you reset. What happened? How did he catch Rolly? Everybody was talking about, you know what I'm saying, Rolly was putting on a quick. That's what kind of fighter Rolando Romero is. He can't outbox Tank. He's going to have to put the pressure on him. But Tank Davis, being smart, being a better boxer, yeah, you can give the perception like he's winning these rounds, but he ain't doing nothing but getting set up to get slaughtered. And that's what happened. And it happened beautifully. You know what I mean? Rolly tried to pressure him. As soon as his back touched the ropes, at that moment, at that precise fraction of a second, he knows two things is going to happen. Rolly's about to throw. And depending upon what he throws will dictate how I move or how I have to move. You know what I mean? Because you're back against the ropes. So you can only move left or right. So if he'd have moved to his left, he'd have been in the corner. Don't want to do that. So you know you have to move to your right. And all this has to be calculated in fractions of a second. And luckily, Rolly, he tried to throw that right. Man, Tank, he dipped that bad boy, caught him with the counter left hand, and he slid right out the way to his right. Beautiful job, beautiful shot. Caught Rolly flush. He almost flew out the damn ring. That's boxing. Kambosos, he does not have that ability. He's not a slick fighter. He does do certain things. But Devin Haney, shout out to Floyd Sr. once you fight different levels of opponents, you know what I mean? Especially when it comes to defense, when you're fighting a good boxer who's also slick, it's different. You can't throw certain shots because they're slick. They know how to shoulder roll. They know how to use their angle, their balance. You know what I'm saying? They know how to use their feet and tie everything together. You know what I mean? Jaron Ennis. Canelo also has that ability, but Canelo has great upper body movement. He doesn't really utilize his upper body movement at the same time he's utilizing his feet. He doesn't put them together. He doesn't have that ability. But talking about Boots, Boots is nice like that. Boots is slick, defensively sound, and solid. He not only has great upper body movement, but his feet, his legs are also fantastic. You know what I mean? He can tie everything together. That's what makes him dangerous, especially fighting Errol Spence. What? Errol Spence has a beautiful jab. He goes to the body. But Jaron Ennis is not going to stand in front of Errol Spence to get caught all night throughout the fight like Danny Garcia did. He's not going to do it. His movement, especially his head movement, is too slick. He's going to get out the way, keep his movement short and precise, and as soon as Errol, he throws that jab, especially because sometimes Errol, he throws that jab, you know what I'm saying, and he leans up. So as soon as Boots slips and he gets out the way, he's going right to the body, and then he's coming right over the top. You know what I mean? Depending upon, because keep in mind, Boots can switch. So if he switches, you know what I mean, and then Boots goes the other way, he may catch Spence with the overhand and then turn again and go down to the body. You know what I mean? Like, Boots is nice, man. Boots is nice. Terrence Crawford may have a better shot. That's why people are picking Terrence Crawford to beat Errol Spence, because he's a switch hitter. He can match Errol in the southpaw stance, or he can switch it up, fight him in the orthodox. But generally, Bud comes out fighting the orthodox stance. Then if he gets tagged, you see him switch to southpaw. He's going to have to do something different when he fights Spence. You know what I mean? I believe if he switches it up, and I'm talking about before he gets caught with a shot, he's really going to have to fight in both stances all throughout the fight. Keep giving him constant different looks. Work on his angles and combinations in both stances all throughout the fight. If Terrence Bud Crawford is able to do that when he fights Errol Spence, he's going to beat the hell out of Errol. He is. I just told y'all this before about Kambosos. Errol, he has time to work on some things as far as his movement, but Bud is naturally more athletic and has better movement than Errol Spence. You know what I mean? You've seen this in various fights. The first one that comes to mind is when he fought, what's the Cuban boy name, man? Gamboa. When he fought Gamboa. And yeah, Gamboa caught Bud too. You know what I mean? Shook him up a little bit. But it's the fight game. Everybody talking about, you know what I mean? Bud gets hit. Bud ain't never been knocked out. It's a fight. You won't get hit. You know what I mean? It's about having the chin. It's about having toughness. It's about having tenacity. It's about having the smarts to get hit. Be smart enough to get on your bicycle real quick, reset, shake it off, and then you get back in there, and then you get on with the fight. That's what he does. Now, Errol Spence, if he's able to hurt Bud, he's going to have to finish him. He's going to have to, because Bud also has that killer instinct. If he hurts you, Bud is going to be on you. And I do believe, even though, you know what I mean, Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence talking about Bud is a little light in the ass, whatever, you know what I'm saying, because he came up from 140. But come on, man. Bud been a seasoned welterweight for some time. You know what I mean? He carries the weight, or has been carrying the weight for some time. So he used to be a little light in the ass, but now, I mean, he's a full-fledged welterweight. You know what I mean? He carries the weight and he carries the power very well. Bud can catch you with both hands. Going back to Gamboa, I love the sequence when Gamboa and Bud was in a corner. You know what I mean? And Gamboa tried to pressure him, and it just showed beautifully not only Terrence Crawford's, you know what I'm saying, his punching capability and how he selected his shots, but it also showed his movement. You know what I mean? Because Gamboa tried to press him, and then Bud, you know what I'm saying, he caught him with a jab. Gamboa threw something. Bud did that thing, boy, like a chip in the salsa, man. And he came back up, and it was fluent. It was fluent. That was the beauty of it. It was fluent. You know what I'm saying? Like, Bud caught him, almost knew that he was going to throw. So as soon as he dipped out the way, he was already throwing his shot. Caught Gamboa again coming in, and then caught him, then finished and got and deleted his ass, you know what I'm saying, with a quick two-piece. Like, Bud's, his punch output will also be the deciding factor when he fights Spence. Spence is really not a combination puncher like that. He's not. He's basic, but he's extremely effective. His jab and how he breaks people down to the body. If you take Errol Spence's body attack away from him, and you have good hand movement, and you can neutralize his jab, because Errol, he's in great condition, throws a lot of punches, especially jabs. And if you can take away his body attack, and you can nullify a lot of those jabs that he throws, that's it. That's it. You take, I mean, that's damn near, that's freaking 80% of what Errol Spence's game plan is in any fight. His jab and his body attack. You know what I mean? He doesn't throw 3, 4, 5 punch combinations. He just doesn't do it. He's not that fighter. He doesn't let his hands go like that. But to his respect, he doesn't have to, because Spence is strong. You know what I mean? If he catches you with a jab and then he digs down to the body and then he follows up and then comes with that hook, generally that's all he got to do. Because especially once he started letting the hook go, at that point, his opponent is already generally broken down already. So if you take that away from Errol Spence, that's it. And Bud has the IQ to do it. He's smart like that. And see, when you have a fighter that mentally is prepared and physically is prepared, you know you're going to have a great fighter, because that's a great fighter. A great fighter puts on great fights, especially if you have great competition. Sometimes the only thing that can nullify a great fighter having a great showing is if the fighter is less talented and he has to make the fight ugly, which is also a part of boxing. Hey, you know what I'm saying? That's why, going back to Kambosos and Haney, okay, once you knew that Devin Haney was a better boxer than you, which you should have knew that already going into the fight. But once the fight is going down and you inside the ring and you getting caught with all types of jabs, and you getting caught with shots, you know what? Let me reset. You know what I mean? Now, because especially in any aspect of the fight, when a fighter is starting to lose, that's when the game plan goes out the door. Shout out to Mike Tyson. Everybody got a game plan until they get punched in the face. Once you start getting tagged up and your face, once you go into the corner, they putting ice bags on you. You know what I'm saying? They putting the cold press on you, trying to keep the swelling down. That's when you know something ain't working. That's when you know it's time to get busy. It's time to do something that you ain't accustomed to doing, and that's getting your hands dirty. That's when you got to throw everything out the window, and you got to start to get it in, man. You know what I mean? You have to start to get it in, period. And he didn't do that. And I truly believe, jumping back to Spence and Crawford, this fight is going to be a doghouse. You know what I mean? I think it's going to start out, these guys are going to be boxing, but I do believe, I have a feeling at some point in the fight, these guys are going to get into the trenches and it's going to get dirty. Now, who is the smarter fighter and is going to win those exchanges? Say again, if Chance Boy Crawford, if he can nullify Spencer's body attack, which he can do, he's just going to have to turn Errol. You know what I mean? Just going to have to turn him. You know what I mean? Stay on the angle. Don't stand in front of him. You know what I mean? You touch him up so you can switch, get on your angle. You know what I mean? That's going to make Spence reset. You take a step forward, take a couple of steps forward. You know what I mean? Touch him, turn. You know what I'm saying? But ain't going to be you. You can't stay in front of him. That's what, I don't know why guys always fall into that trap and wind up standing in front of Errol. And you know this guy breaks you down, especially from the body. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like once the fight once the fight is going, like people just start forgetting things, you know what I mean? And I believe that's how it is in the fight. That's how it is. There's no other time in your life is when muscle memory comes into effect, as if it's a situation of threat or danger or in a fight. I don't care what you know, what you've learned or whatever, in the time of danger or potential threat or in a fight, muscle memory is going to come into play. And who you truly are and what you truly know and have learned will become present. Whether it's offensively doing something or defensively doing something, whatever you have learned will come to play. And I've seen this in my own life, you know what I mean? In certain situations, whether it's a fight, a situation where it could be something just about to, you know what I'm saying, fall to your feet, or something coming at me, you know what I'm saying? And it's about to hit me in my face. And I just, without even thinking about it, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I may slip it, or, you know what I mean? I may slip it, you know what I mean? And catch it or something like that, not even thinking about it. In times like that, you know what I mean? Like, who you are and what you know will always come to the forefront. And that's how it's going to be with Bud and with Spence. You know what I mean? Everything they know, everything they've learned in their catalog offensively and also defensively will come into play when these guys fight. When these two guys fight, we are going to see not only a great fight, but we are truly going to see who is the best. And see, once you become, especially undisputed, and this one thing, touching back on Spence boy, you know what I'm saying, Charlo, he talking about once he became undisputed, he's trying to pull the Canelo card, like, okay, now you dudes got to fight each other. No, dog. Once you become the undisputed champion, your opposition and your competition should not downgrade. It should still remain high. You still should be fighting the best. That is how you become superior. You know what I'm saying? That is how you become dominant. You can't be the top guy and you fighting tomato cans and you fighting bums. No, man, you still have to fight the best competition. That's what solidifies you as being the best. Yes, you are undisputed, but when somebody disputes your championship pedigree, what you going to do? What you going to do? You can't fight bums. You know what I mean? You may throw a fight or two, whatever like that in there, but as long as you are champion, everybody who you fight should not be somebody who people know that you go watch or people know that you can beat. Nah. Because now you're not, in my opinion, you're not a true champion. A true champion fights all comers, especially those who are a threat. Because guess what? When you knock out, when you knock off, when you defeat, whatever, everybody who is potentially a threat, that is what solidifies you as a true champion. That's why Errol Spence, Terence Crawford, once they fight, y'all just getting started. Y'all just happen to beat, or you happen to beat, quote unquote, the 1A or the 1B of the division. Now, the dudes below you guys who are, quote unquote, coming up and who are also primed, and people are looking at them, your Jerron Ennis's, your Virgil Ortiz, you know what I mean, Stanionis, you know what I mean? As I said, shout out to Rashidi Yellows. Like, these dudes are nice. These dudes want a shot. And you know what I mean? Like with Jerron Ennis, you know what I'm saying? Just winning the eliminator, his next fight is going to be possibly, you know what I mean, a shot at the title. So that's why Boots and Bud, they need to get that fight out the way, because chances are their next fight, once they fight each other, is going to be Jerron Ennis. And that's going to be a problem. They literally may have those belts for one fight. Because either one of these guys, I know people, you know what I'm saying, like, y'all gonna see this and y'all will be like, man, Boots not ready. He's still green and all this kind of stuff. No. Boots is ready. And see, I'm not saying Boots is ready because I'm saying it. Other people say it, but forget about me. Forget about them. Jerron Ennis himself, his father / trainer, Bozzy Ennis, he also has said, my son is ready. Boots has said it himself, I'm ready. Now, to me, if you're a fighter and you say that you ready, that you want all the smoke, then in my opinion, you give it to them. You give it to them. If they say they with it, if they say they ready, hey, man, get it in. Prove me right or prove me wrong. And when Jerron Ennis fights Errol Spence or Terence Crawford, you are going to see a hell of a show. Because Boots is knocking dudes out first round, second round. Before he fought Van Heerden, he had the longest, you know what I'm saying, win streak, you know what I mean, of getting dudes up out of there in under 6 rounds. No fight was going under the 6th round. You know what I mean? Then the accidental headbutt with the gash with Van Heerden, besides the title situation, you know what I mean, the eliminator, like, that threw a monkey wrench at his whole run. But since then, he has still been knocking guys out in the first round, in the second round. You know what I mean? Just seeing what he did to Castile Clayton. Like, come on, man. Like, Boots is nasty. And when people, and you know that you guys, come on, man, y'all be watching Fight Hype, y'all be watching Fight Hub and all these dudes, man, when they be interviewing Boots, and people always bring up Boots when they be talking to Spence. And you could tell Spence be hating that shit because he like, damn, like, why they always bring up this nigga, man? You know what I'm saying? Because he's a problem. Because he's going to potentially be the one that dethrones you. That's why they bringing him up. And I'm telling y'all, Jerron Ennis is the best welterweight. I know he ain't got no belt, but when you look at skill and IQ, and the scary part about it is that he's young. He's young. And he stays in the gym. After he fights, he may take a couple days off, and then Boots is back in the gym. He's back in the gym, either training or he's back in the gym getting other fighters in the gym ready for their fight. Come on, man. That type of dedication, that's a champion. That's a champion's mindset. That is a true champion's mindset. If he's not training for his own fight, he's working on helping other guys get ready for their potential fights. Come on, man. I told y'all before, Philly don't raise no scrubs, because, you know what I mean? When Steph Fulton was training for his just past victory, where you think Cool Boy Steph was at? Where you think Cool Boy Steph was at? Steph was in Philly boxing with Boots, with Coach Bozzy. You know what I'm saying? He was up there with them boys training. Still sharpened steel. Told y'all, man, Philly don't raise no scrub, man. The greatest fighting city in America. Damn near, if you don't say it's number one, which I ain't saying just because that's where I'm from, but you look at the talent, you know what I'm saying, that has come out of Philadelphia, man. From Joe Frazier to Bernard Hopkins, just got inducted into the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. And current champions, you know what I mean? Danny Garcia, Cool Boy Steph, potential champions, you know what I'm saying? Um, Jerron Ennis and others. I forgot about the dude who lost to damn man, I forgot the brother's name, man. Um, he got knocked out by Charlo. I forgot his name, but he was a champion. You know what I mean? And then he lost to the Spanish boy. You know what I mean? But he came into the fight. He wasn't right, and he got knocked out. You know what I mean? That's how it is. You can't play boxing, and once you get a championship title, you can't take. I mean, ain't no days off, man. Once you get the belt, let alone belts, you become unified champion. You cannot take your foot off the gas. You have to start training even harder. Shout out to Beterbiev. Beterbiev, he said it himself. Trainers have said it themselves. He does not care about the person. He don't care about no name. He only cares about the belt. That's what he wants. That's what he is fighting for. I don't give a damn, no disrespect, who you are. The only thing I want is that belt. Because if you are a fighter, you're not fighting just to fight. If you are not fighting to become a champion, if you are not fighting to become a unified champion or an undisputed champion, lineal champion, multi-division world champion, then what are you fighting for? You pick one of the most dangerous sports in the world to make a living. And if you are not trying to become or elevate and take your game to the highest of levels within that sport, then you tripping. Because you can lose your life in the ring. You can get caught. I think last year alone, like 2-3 fighters, you know what I'm saying, passed away from the injuries they sustained in a fight. You know what I mean? You have countless other fighters who have sustained injuries in fights, and mentally, they are no longer any good. You can see them deteriorating, you know what I mean, mentally and physically. Like, come on, man, you can't play around boxing, cuz. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get punched in the face the right way, your life will be changed forever. You know what I mean? That's why I stay sharp, defensively and offensively. And I ain't never been touched. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter how old you get, you always have to work on your craft. I learned that in the gym. Shout out to Shula's Boxing, 43rd in Brooklyn, West Philly. Bus used to always say, it don't matter how old you get. It don't matter if you want to fight to become a champion or just fight or learn how to fight because you want to learn how to fight. You always have to, number one, stay sharp. And number two, you can't play around. Because even if you're not fighting or learning how to box, to fight professionally, meaning in the ring, you can still get into a fight in the street. And this is one thing that y'all need to know in case you don't know. It's different. A street fight is different from a boxing fight. Because who you fight in the street, chances are these guys, they're not boxers. So when they throw a jab, when they throw a hook, it's not a textbook jab or it may not be a textbook hook. So you have to modify your style if you are a quote-unquote boxer. You have to learn how to incorporate certain things as far as being a boxer, incorporate that into a street fighting style. Because you can be a boxer and you fight somebody in a street fight and you can get knocked the hell out. You know what I mean? So you have to be smart. You have to take certain things as far as your movement, as far as defense, incorporate that into your style once you're in a street fight. Don't think because you are a boxer, if you fight somebody in the street, you always want to be the one to, you know what I'm saying, to get you got the upper hand because you know how to box. No, not at all. You can get knocked out. You can get knocked out. So that's why, like, coming up, like, we used to always be, you know what I'm saying, we'll always be in the street slap boxing, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, hey man, you gotta stay sharp. You gotta stay sharp. And I miss those days, because kids don't do that no more. You know what I'm saying? Kids don't box, or they don't slap box. You know what I'm saying? But see, even though it seemed like fun and games, but at the same time, man, like that's how you was keeping each other sharp. That's how you was keeping each other sharp. Because if you're afraid to throw a punch, or you're afraid to get hit, you already lost. You already lost. That's one of the most principal things in the fight, that you have to get inside your head. This is a fight. I'm going to get hit. And if you can't take a punch, if you're not willing to take a punch, matter of fact, let's switch that up. Forget taking a punch. You have to be willing to take a punch. You know what I mean? Meaning not afraid to get hit if you get into a street fight. If you decide, you know what, it's time to bang, it's time to go, you already have to have it in your mind and your heart and your spirit that I'm gonna take whatever it is that you throw. I'm gonna take whatever it is that you bring, and I'm gonna eat it. Question is, can you take what I bring? Can you take what I throw? That's what my uncle always taught us. And that's especially when you come to a fight, you beat the hell out of them. Because see, you never know a man's intentions against you. And you catch him with a certain shot, and you trying to walk away after you done beat the hell out of him, and then he go for his waist, and he pull out his gun, and then he shoot you in the back because you just whooped his ass. No, that's why he taught us, when you fight a man, you make sure that he can't move. Yeah, he gonna have to go to the hospital when I get finished. He gonna have to go to the hospital. Jaw will be broke. You know what I'm saying? He got to get that shit wired and all that. You know what I mean? He gonna be hurt. He gonna be hurt. And I never forgot that. I never forgot that. So with that knowledge and with that skill, you have to be more. What's the word I'm looking for? Not willing always to engage, because you know, if you have to put your hands on somebody, you know what you're capable of. You know what you can do. You know, once you leave that person, they will definitely ain't gonna be the same that night. And for the week to come or weeks to come, they not gonna be the same. They gonna be hurt. They gonna be hurt. So you have to have restraint. That's the word I was looking for. You have to have restraint. If it comes down to you have to put your hands on somebody, it has to be at the point where, you know what, you gave me no other. You gave me no other. I mean, when they say you're back against the wall, you gotta do what you gotta do. That's what it is. Try to talk to you like a man. You still want to bump your gums. God forbid you put your hands up. Because once you put your hands up, that's like cocking a hammer back on a firearm. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm just waiting for you to shoot. So as soon as you put your hands up, that's it. You know what I mean? You may get, and if you're not good as a fighter, as you is as a talker, you will be in trouble. Especially when you will be in trouble. You will be in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Because I done knocked out and dropped grown men, always bigger than me. That's another thing. Uncle always said, never be afraid of somebody bigger than you. Never. Because if somebody is bigger than you, generally, they a bitch. They always use their quote-unquote size to intimidate you. You know what I mean? They use their size to intimidate you. Never be afraid to face anybody, period, especially somebody who's bigger than you. Because like the saying goes, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. But we're about to wrap this up. Talk Make Stand Up is your boy, B-Vol, Beterbiev. That will be and should be the fight. Beterbiev said it himself when they was talking about him. Oh yeah, you know what? We still gonna wrap it up, but forgot about that. Because Anthony Yard, shout out to the UK, shout out to my people over there in the UK, you know what I'm saying, London, shout out to all y'all, man. Anthony Yard was in the house because they was talking about between Anthony Yard and Dimitri Bivol could be the next potential fights for Beterbiev if he was successful fighting Joe Smith Jr. Now, Anthony Yard is nice. He's slick. You know what I mean? Um, but I still believe that Beterbiev will knock him out too. So when you talk about Bivol opposed to an Anthony Yarde fight, come on, man. You know Beterbiev is going to pick Dimitri Bivol. He already said it himself, man. He wants the belts. And the last belt that he is missing is that WBA Light Heavyweight Championship title. And that's what Bivol has. And that's what he wants. He wants to complete the set. He wants to become undisputed. And you know what? If you Anthony Yarde, you shouldn't trip. You should want that fight to happen. You should want Beterbiev and Bivol to fight each other so whomever can become undisputed, and then you can get your shot at being undisputed. So if you're Anthony Yarde, hearing what Beterbiev said after the fight, don't be mad, don't be upset. You know what? You should be licking your chops. Like, you know what? Yeah, you go ahead and fight him. You go ahead and get that other belt. You know what I mean? Make it easy for me. So if you feel as though skill-wise, and y'all heard what I've been talking about, mentally, if you know that you can mentally and physically beat this man, which you're going to have to be, because Beterbiev is a 100% knockout ratio. Most dangerous puncher in boxing outside of, you know what I'm saying, the heavyweight. 100% knockout ratio. First, 17-0, 17 knockouts. He is now 18-0 with 18 knockouts. Everybody that has stepped into that ring, he has knocked them out. He has knocked them out. He has hurt them. You know what I mean? So you, Anthony Yarde, yes, you want that fight, but at the same time, you know, like, look at the math. It's a high probability that once you fight this man, he will knock you out. Food for thought. Talk Nation, stand up as your boy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And you already know how I play, man. Share the truth. Do your best to stay humble, stay motivated, protect yourself at all times, guard up, and mask up. Why? Because there's a war going on outside, and ain't nobody safe from it. Talk Nation, stand up as your boy. Peace.